Hey, True Believers, Englentine here, and I got a couple of reviews for you. Going to talk about Fearless from Marvel Comics, starring the Women of Marvel. We have The History of Marvel Comics, #1 as well. And, of course, we're going to begin by talking about Batman Curse of the White Knight by Sean Murphy. It's a sequel to Batman White Knight. Can't wait. So before we begin, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and make sure you've got those notifications on and ring that bell. Now, with all that aside, let's get this party started. All right, Batman Curse of the White Knight by Sean Murphy with Matt Hollingsworth as the Beaver. Anyway, I got to tell you, I liked the first one. A lot of people did. A lot of people liked Batman White Knight. I met a couple of people who didn't care for it too much, but overall, you know, good feelings towards it. Don't have a lot of bad things to say about it. However, I got to say I wasn't champing at the bit to read this one. No, the first one was a great story. It's all self-contained. You don't need a sequel to it. I mean, I'm willing to read it. I picked it up. It's got an okay beginning here with an obvious Batman stabbing and killing and throwing down the well, an obvious Joker set in the past, and that's what sets up, or at least the pre-credit action scene in any James Bond movie. That's what happens here. And then we get to the modern scenes, and we're introduced to the Joker again. And obviously he's got plans with a warden, and that leads to the Batman coming up. This is an obvious setup issue. The problem is, so was the first issue of Batman White Knight, but it had a rooftop Batmobile chase that ended up with Batman looking like a violent killer, or at least just really violent, you know? And that just grabbed you, man. That was like, holy crap, let's see where this is going. And, you know, I mean, and plus, of course, it had the hook of the Joker becomes the good guy. You know, that's the whole crux of that story, or at least that was the driving force. Anyway, none of that is here. None of that is here. So it takes a lot more to get started. There needs to be a lot more fire underneath this particular engine, or in this engine. I don't know what I don't know engine. I don't know why I went there. I'm not good with that. The dialogue is there. I did like that, which is good because you'll see a lot of dialogue balloons, and the art is great. I love the look of this particular Batman world. Gotham, of course, should always kind of be dark and brooding, but this sort of looks like it's almost stuck in a different time as well. And I just like that look. Almost like it's this whole series could be a sequel to Gotham by Gaslight, because it hasn't really changed all that much. It just got more modern. I just kind of dig that look, the style, the colors, the whole 9 yards. This is how, if you're going to write Batman as a detective and Batman is kind of a noirish, this, I think, is how a Batman book should look. If you're going to write the actioning style, okay, you know, then you go to like your Neil Adams type of art. And yes, I love Neil Adams, and I know he draws a good dark Batman as well, and he could make the blue suit look dark, so that's awesome. Anyway, getting back to this, while I do like the look of the book, I have to admit that its real strength is in its writing. In all honesty, I'm looking forward to the next issue. I think this one kind of nailed it. Except it is a setup issue, so be very wary of the fact that you are not going to get a huge action-packed book. You're not going to. This is not all about the action. This is about the setup. This is about the story. This is about reminding us where we left off with Batman White Knight, and I think it does a good job. But I'm invested because of the first miniseries. I'm invested in this one. If you haven't read the first one, I think you might be a little bit lost, but I think there's enough exposition here to carry you through. I would still recommend you read the first book before you attempt to read this one, just because of the fact that that really did set up the world. On the other hand, and I think this is actually a viable way to go about it, I know a lot of people are going to want to wait for the trades. And as much as I like this book, I can't blame you. This is a setup issue. This is a slower issue. If I were to be asked, hey, which one do you think I should do? Buy the floppies or wait for the trade? That's a hard call, in all honesty, because it's decent. but I gotta say, if it's gonna be paced like this, it may actually be worth waiting a bit and picking up. The only problem is, don't blame us when we're talking about it and something comes out and it's all spoiled up for you now. So if you're waiting for the trades, I guess you just have to get used to it. And that's something I had to get used to with Mr. Miracles. I'm like, no, don't tell me. And then it just accidentally came out about that book. So anyway, oh yeah, and Azrael's in this. So there's that. The next book we're going to take a look at is the history of the Marvel Universe. So there's been a book that's been coming out. It's called X-Men Grand Design. And basically it is just somebody saying, and then this happened in the comics. And while I was reading it, I realized, I know what I'm reading here. I am reading a $4 YouTube video. I mean, this is what YouTube really talks about. We talk about comic books and we go, hey, you remember in issue 92 where this guy did this thing and it was really cool and we did this and we ran over there and it was all right and I can't believe it. What'd you think? And that was exactly what Grand Design was. So I picked up the history of the Marvel Universe and I actually said to myself, gee, I wonder if they're going to start way at the beginning. And they did. So you get in the beginning. All of the cosmic entities were born. Here's Eternal. Here's the Living Tribunal. And then the alien races came. And then there's Galactus. And now we go to... not Earth yet. Apparently, Earth is like the youngest planet ever. Because you go through every alien species before you get to us. I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, okay, why is everything else the ancient race and we're just the younglings, I guess? Yeah, I'm going Star Wars on you. What up? And yeah, it did bring up the million BC Avengers, which is the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. Overall, this is another like grand design where it is it's a YouTube video put on paper. The history of the Marvel Universe, let me tell you in 15 minutes. So you can really tell if you're going to be into this kind of thing. I like it. I like the fact that I like going through the history of comics. I like seeing where everything began. I've heard this before. I've read books on this before. So this didn't exactly thrill me as much as it should have, mainly because while it does tell us everything and it looks like it's going to be very comprehensive, unfortunately it didn't really do anything new with it either. And that's the big problem. It's very encyclopedic, and I've already got the Encyclopedia of Marvel, so why do I need this? Fearless, #1. Now this, I picked it up, it's a #1, and I was like, okay, what is this? And then it's like the Women of Marvel, which, in all honesty, I remember there was a time where I would have picked anything up that was called the Women of Marvel. I used to get those trades all the time, where it had, like, Red Sonja and the Invisible Girl was on the cover, and basically it was the origin stories of all the really cool female characters from the Marvel Universe. These days, though, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, it's going to be cringe, isn't it? It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. And you know what? This comic's bad. I mean, this comic's bad. It starts off at a camp, and they're getting ready to... We've got some speakers coming, and we paid their fees. Really? A summer camp paid to have Sue Storm come and talk. Can you imagine how much that would cost? And she's not the only one. Somehow they got hold of Captain Marvel to come and be a speaker as well, and all these... No, I'm sorry, we know how speaker fees run. This is way beyond a summer camp's means. This summer camp better be like the hidden layer of some sort of AIM or Hydra base or something, because that is a crap ton of money they're gathering. And then it's basically, they bounce from female hero to female hero talking about, well, you're going to go to the camp. I'm going to go to the camp. Let's go to... And it's the exact same dialogue, just altered for that particular character over and over and over again. And how did they get a hold of some of these people? They got Storm. And by the way, Storm is a terrorist in this one. She absolutely said, I know this is not illegal, but I'm going to ruin your operations anyway. Yeah, you're an eco-terrorist, Storm. You're not a hero anymore. They have so messed up the X-Men in every gosh darn book. Even this one, they can't let one be a hero. And this is somebody who's supposedly now going to go and give an inspirational speech to a bunch of girls at a summer camp. Yeah, there you go, gang. Anyway, like I said, the Fearless, this book sucks. Although it does have a bit with Millie the Model in it. And who doesn't like Millie the Model? Or who of you has ever even heard of and remember Millie the Model? So there you go, guys. Couple of reviews for you. What do you think? Did you read any of these? Have you read The White Knight? The Curse of the White Knight? Have you read Fearless or The History of the Marvel Universe? And if so, what did you think? Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Definitely share. YouTube stopped doing that for me, and I have to rely on you guys. I certainly appreciate that. Don't forget to ring that bell and make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Ko-Fi or to Patreon, drop $1 in the till, and helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. And if you would really like me to make a video for you, go on over to Ko-Fi and commission a video. You can pick of any of the categories we do. You can pick the character, the story, the list you want to have made, anything. And, yeah, we'll do it. I'd like to thank everybody who already has. There's quite a few of them now, and I certainly appreciate it. And to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.